Hello the internet, hope you're all well, thanks for stopping by. Biggest gaming disappointments. The history of gaming is absolutely littered with games that we've built up in our expectations only to turn out to be utter garbage. I'm thinking of Cyberpunk 2077, No Man's Sky, Duke Nukem Forever, and any EA Sports game that you've just spent £70 on and realise it's exactly the same as it was last year. Well, if you've seen my channel, you know that I am a gaming nerd, quite clearly. I am a motor racing nerd, and I'm also a Scalextric nerd. This house is absolutely littered with Scalextric cars all over the place, and in fact, there's a load of them that live just here. I shall just demonstrate that for you now. Yes, and having seen that, you'll have probably just spotted the game that I'm going to talk about here. Yes, as an 8-year-old child who was absolutely obsessed with motor racing, computer gaming, and Scalextrics, this was the single greatest computer game of all time. I am of course lying, it was absolute garbage. This is Scalextric, the computer edition. This is my original Spectrum game, the original leaflet there, and the original Spectrum tape there. Oh, this should have been absolute heaven for me. It's a motor racing game, it's Scalextric, you get to build your own circuits, but it was so rubbish, yes. I mean, you had plenty of tracks to go from. That's the list of all the tracks on the back there. We've got everything from Rio, Estoril, Imola, Monaco, but it was just such a letdown. But let's have a look at it anyway. This is a 1 or 2 player game. If you leave the second player name blank, you get to play against the computer in one of 3 difficulty levels, or if you put a name in there, you can play against your mate. I'm Billy No Mates, I'm going to play this on my own, but I will show you the second player anyway. You can redefine your keys, you can play with joystick, and you get the chance to play your own design of race circuit, because this is Scalextric after all. Or you can choose one of the predetermined tracks that are in the game, as I've already mentioned. Yeah, let's go with Monaco. For some reason, a lot of the tracks in the game, they don't drive the correct way around the circuit as you'd expect them to. This one at least does go the right way around the track. But this is about it. It's a pretty standard Spectrum fare from that era of computer gaming. There's not a lot going on. I'll spin through this very quickly. You can't die in this game. You can't crash unless you hit the car that you're racing against, and only then if you run up behind him. Apparently, looking at the instructions, if there's only a very small discrepancy in the speed, you won't crash, but if there's a big discrepancy in the speed, then you'll just plough into the back of them as per this. This is the 1-player version of the game. You've got 3 difficulty levels. I've set this to the very hardest difficulty level, and as you'll see, it's not really that difficult. I got around the first corner, just went up alongside him, and then I was off into the distance. There's very little difficulty to this game whatsoever. Like I say, you can't crash. If you go around a corner too quickly, you'll just rub against the grass and you'll slow down, but it's very easy to win the game, and there's no championship mode to it, there's no arcade mode to it, it's just one-on-one, that's it. Race 1, game over pretty much. However, at least there is a track design function within this game. Let's face it, it would have been a pretty poor Scalextric game if it didn't allow you to build your own circuits. This is the track editing screen. It's pretty basic. You choose where you're going to start the track, choose which direction, horizontal or vertically. You cannot choose which direction the cars are going to run though. The track that I'm designing here is actually running in the wrong direction because you've got no option in this. If there's any motor racing nerds out there like me, see how quickly you can guess which track this is I'm running. This is actually my local racing circuit. You've got pretty much all pieces of track that were available to you in real life back in the 1980s. A few minor exceptions like the Goodwood chicane and pit stops, but all of these pieces of track you see in the top right corner were available in real life in Scalextric. You are a bit limited for real estate in this screen editor function. I can't go much lower than I've shown the track at the moment, and there's borders on either side and to the top, so you can't go too close to the edges. Otherwise you run out of track space and it will tell you that you've run out of space. So you have to use the lift function to take up a piece of track, go back a couple and try again. There's quite a bit of trial and error to this editing function, especially when it comes to closing the track off. Here's me, I'm just trying to find the right piece to finish off this final corner onto the main start straight. But it just doesn't quite fit, so I've got to lift the last piece and try again. Like I say, trial and error until you get the right size of track. And I think we're about done there. We're going to close it off and then we are ready to race. Full marks to any of you out there who did indeed guess that this is Donington Park, my local racetrack. And well, that's pretty much it. There's no other options to investigate. Like I said, there's no championship mode, there's no arcade mode, there's no time trial mode. That is it. That is Scalextric. So there you go, we're sitting in my bedroom playing Scalextric, the computer edition, as good as sitting on the dining room floor playing Scalextric, the real thing. No, of course it wasn't. Biggest disappointment of my computer gaming life. What was yours? Tell me in the comments section below, and I'll see you next time.